way. Better than me. Muhammad was the one of all praises, and Allah means most high. No, the Black Muslim is the name you give it and the press give it. We're not Black Muslims. My religion is Islam, which means peace. Everything good of authority was made white. We look at Jesus, we see a white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Now I'm sure if there's a heaven in the sky and the color folks die and go to heaven, and where are the colored angels? They must get in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad Ali has just refused to be inducted into the United States Armed Forces.
No, I will not go 10,000 miles from here to help murder and kill another four people simply to continue the domination of white slave masters over the dark people. Your religion says you not to kill, but you will kill. Because what? Because you're giving up your religious teaching. I'm not giving up my life for no government.
Whatever the punishment, whatever the persecution is for standing up for my religious beliefs, even if it means facing machine gun fire that day, I will face it before denouncing the religion of Islam. I'm ready to die.
I have a religion, which is the religion of Islam, that most people don't understand and they don't see the light. It has been said that I have two alternatives. Either go to jail or go to the army. But I would like to say that there is another alternative. And that alternative is justice. Took my step back because I am a Muslim. There are 750 million more that believe just like me. I am bigger than boxing. I am bigger than all the
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to you in the City Wake Up Call. I'm your host, Donte McGuire, coming to you somewhere in the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina, 365 days a year. We shooting by remote again this morning. You know, those mornings we have to do what we have to do, so we're shooting by remote today. But we're still coming to you, just as always, 365 days a year. I love to hear Muhammad Ali speak. I always play that in the morning sometime. And I got a phone call yesterday from my good brother after we got off the air. And I love him to death. But like I told him yesterday, we can't, as Muslims, we can't say rah rah when we hear Ali. And he stood up for what was right in the time that someone needed to stand up and say what was right. We have to honor that and continue that legacy. When we as Muslims are called on to stand up and say what is right, we must do the same thing, regardless of the pain that we may be suffering inside. As I said yesterday, sometimes we see atrocities in the world and we have a pain and we can relate to that pain. However, we must stand up and say wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong. And so as they continue to grieve over the lives that were lost in Brussels, as we continue to unite and join as a people, we say wrong is wrong. And Islam does not stand for terrorism, and terrorism does not mean Islam. We're not to harm a blade of grass. We're not to harm innocent human life. The jihad that we first fight is the jihad within ourselves. And I'll keep saying that message, and I'll keep being no covers, unapologetic. I wanted to go back. I missed something in our 43 days I thought was relevant today that I wanted to cover. It was a quote on day 40 written by a young brother, Donte McGuire. And I hope Donte get this session this morning, because Donte, I always go back and listen to this story that you wrote me when we did 100 miles of running from 3 years ago. I want people to know that sometimes you got to start somewhere. We did this. Everything you're seeing in Noo Covers was started in 2012. And some of the runners we had then, one of the runners we had on 100 miles of running was Donte McGuire. And he wrote us this story that I'd like to share with you this morning by Donte McGuire. I was 23 when I first traveled on an airplane. I walked into the airport in Cairo, Egypt, to signs in Arabic and people speaking one another in Arabic. For 2 weeks, I visited this city where there was a citywide call to prayer. An actual alarm rang out throughout the city 5 times a day. I learned about Egyptian history, met Egyptian students, and ate food that I had never before heard of. From that 2-week experience, I knew there was nothing I loved more than traveling the world and meeting people of different cultures. And I knew that I wanted to dedicate my life to helping others discover the meaningful engagement with people and cultures different from their own. It was through this experience I learned a great deal about my own assignment. Had I not gotten on that airplane, I would have still committed my life to service through education, but I would very likely have limited it to the U.S. borders. Instead, I've had the opportunity to exercise my assignment in Cape Town, South Africa, Chile, South America, and Ghana. And by God's grace, many more to come. I am convinced that there are people who go through life every day only knowing their assignment in part because they never try something new. Borrowing from my story, there are people who never get on that airplane. There are many reasons why people never try new things, some in their control and others outside their control. We must take advantage of those things that are in our control. A simple yet powerful practice is to commit to doing one thing new each week. Try a new restaurant. Take a different route to a familiar destination. Listen to a different genre of music. Watch a new TV show or movie. Introduce yourself to something new. One week, instead of buying tomatoes from the grocery store, try your hand at growing your own. Often new experiences give us a fresh perspective. It teaches us how to exercise our assignment in more context. Consider the story of the fireman who only learned how to put up fires from one-story homes. Hundreds of lives and property he had rescued from destruction. Yet one day he was called to a two-story home that had caught fire. It was his own, and all was lost. Because despite all his knowledge and experience, he had learned how to put out fires from he hadn't learned how to put out fires from anything but a one-story home. Don't be that fireman. Push yourself to try new things. Something or someone you love may ultimately depend on it. Keep running. Donte, I appreciate that, and we appreciate your contribution to Noo Covers. You know, trying something new opens new experiences. I have recently tried something new. I'm trying to learn how to become a nail technician. And one thing I can share with you this morning that I'm learning, no matter what you try, be yourself. And people will accept you if you be yourself. I've learned so much in the last couple of months at Cape Fear Community College just by being myself, because I've learned to be a part of a whole new world of people that accept me for being me. I don't have to change who I am. I don't have to change my dialect. I don't have to change who I am. Matter of fact, they know Noo Covers. I've met more people and have done more nails and feet and have introduced them to Noo Covers just by trying something new and stepping outside of a box and finding there's a whole new brand of people. Let me tell you something. Black folks, racism exists. There's no doubt about it. We've been through some difficult times, and we've got some difficult times ahead to go through when it concerns racism. But let me explain what I'm learning at 52 years old now. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, and now that I'm an adult, I put away childish things. Racism, for the most part, has a limited population. It rears its head very ugly. It rears its head very dominant in society. However, it's a limited population. What you don't see are the millions of people who are not racist that don't raise their head to condemn racism only because they think that they don't have to. And they don't realize that that racist element seems to be dominant in the world from your perspective and my perspective. However, it is not true. Racism has a very limited audience in the world. Most of humanity wants peace. Terrorism has a very limited audience in the world of Islam. See, the two go hand in hand. Destruction go hand in hand. Terrorism has a very limited audience in the world of Islam. But when it happens, it's projected upon the entire brand as acceptable behavior. Why? Because those, like those others that accept racism, don't rise up and condemn the acts of terrorism. The two go hand in hand. So with trying something new, when you step outside the box and meet new people, when you rise up and go and try new things, you begin to blend into a real fabric of society. And that's what I'm learning to do in this second part of my life. See, I ain't finished running yet. I'm just getting started. You really don't really start running until you're 50. I'm learning that. Because you get to the second half of your life. The first 50 years, I was just learning how to jump hurdles. I was just learning how to come out the blocks correct. Them first 50, I was just learning how to claim my win for that last sprint home. Those first 50, I was learning how to conserve energy. I was learning how to pace myself. I was learning how to do the 100 meters, the 200 meters. I was learning how to do the relay. I was learning how to go cross country. But this 50, yeah, it's running time. This second half, this second journey of life, that's when you get busy. Look at your leaders. Look at all of them. Most of them didn't start. Martin Luther King was one of the ones that started young, but most of them didn't kick off. They was in 45 and 50. That they actually started to run. They actually started to find themselves. They actually started to get in the groove and know which direction that they were going to. And believe me, I am enjoying this journey. I hope you are enjoying riding it with No Covers. Because this 50 years here is going to be a journey into a peaceful condition. And I hope you enjoy riding with us every morning. We'll be back live tomorrow morning, back in the cave as usual. I love talking from the cave, but I will come remote when I have to. And we are going to keep the 7:30 time, Brother Sam. Brother Sam reminded me yesterday that everybody's gotten used to 7:30, so I can't change the time, even though it would be better for my prayer schedule. However, I will remain at 7:30. I appreciate you all that were patient with me yesterday if I got off schedule, but I'm back on track. I just got to do things a little bit earlier and catch up, and I will do some remotes from the cave. May have to do some pre-recorded shows to make sure we keep that 7:30 block that we established. And remember, on Fridays, we're live in the cave with Freedom Fridays. And remember, Saturday and Sundays, we go to 10 o'clock on the weekends. 10 o'clock on the weekends. And we will be shooting live from the book fair when it happens on April the 7th. Second, we will be shooting live from there. And Roster Fest, I'm going to post that today. Roster Fest is coming in May. Melvin, we're coming live at Roster Fest. We're going to do a whole broadcast the whole night. I'm blocking in 4 hours at Roster Fest. If you can't make it, we're going to make sure you make it. But make it down to Roster Fest. We're going to do some interviews down there. So come out and No Covers table at Roster Fest. Nesta Fest, I'm sorry. And we'll see you there. You'll see that advertisement on our No Covers page and events calendar. Peace and blessings this morning. Hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day. Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. I'm your brother, No Covers. Peace and blessings.